Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for the December 7th of 2022 full moon in Gemini, exactly conjunct the Mars retrograde. This is happening at 11:09 p.m. Eastern, but times will vary. My name is Vickieverlie, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. Do not be fooled by imposters. And the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. Yeah, so we've got this full moon, and we've had this Mars retrograde, and it's going to be in Gemini. It's this long-standing thing that's been going on and going on, and it's going to continue to go on, and it's going to be really emphasized right now. I could see a lot of people, like, if you can't not being able to hold their tongue, something that's you've been festering about, because Mars retrograde can bring about a lot of anger and frustration and turning inward, and then bam, you might just let it rip. Or what I'm getting to is somebody out there, some people out there, it's going to be like you're going to get it. Like somebody may have said something, some kind of smarmy thing to you, and maybe it went right over your head. Or maybe not even smarmy, but maybe even just trying to clue you in on something in a subtle way. You're going to be, I feel like there's going to be an awareness of some of the subtleties of conversations. Because what I'm getting is like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Or, oh, that's what they meant by that. Like, but you're getting it a little bit later, a little slow on the uptake or whatever. But it feels like, yeah, something could become clear, but for some, it can be, I just get a vibe of, this Mars is this, being this blah, 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 just kidding, my ass, you're just kidding, you're not just kidding, where there's this, this kind of wanting to get your digs in or something, it's kind of got that vibe, or where maybe when it was said in the past, you're like, oh, that's what they meant, wow, and there's always a negative and a positive. Always negative and positive of every aspect, every chart, everything. So the positive. What could the positive be? Well, maybe you could finally wrap your head around something. Maybe you could finally find a way to talk to somebody, or something that you've been wanting to say. Or if you're a writer, you could finally, have that breakthrough of where you've been maybe stifled or frustrated for a while. But it seems more like an awareness of the frustration, or awareness of what's been said or done. You could definitely find out something that's been said. It's kind of a low vibe, going down that low vibe road there, but you could find out somebody said something about you, or this said this or that, or did this. Somebody, they went without you. They said they weren't going to some kind of an event or function, and you find out, maybe even on social media, you see a picture. They went to that thing without me. They said they weren't going, or something. Busted. Or you could get busted if you're pulling any kind of things like that. If you're like telling one of your friends or something, oh, I don't think I'm going to go, then make sure you don't get any pictures on social media when you're there. Yeah, but it just has this thing about, it feels like coming to a head. It really feels to me like coming to a head of things that have been going on during this whole Mars retrograde, which of course I'm not prepared. I like to be more spontaneous with the charts. If you've never watched my channel, I don't do a lot of prep work, because a lot of it's sort of like a psychic reading too. So I don't have a lot of things prepared. I just I didn't look at the chart at all today. Sometimes I'll look at it and then I just press record and we're off. I have an ephemeris handy though. We're going to see, when did that Mars end up going retrograde. The Mars went retrograde all the way back in October, right around Halloween, right around the 30th of October of 2022. And then it's going to go direct in January, but then it won't be out of the shadow, or until March. It won't be out of Gemini. So this could be something that was stewing or festering all the way back, because it feels like festering anger. And if it's not you, and maybe it's not you, hopefully it's not you, but it could be somebody else. I feel like people are just ready to go off. They're just ready to go off, or they've been holding resentment. That's the words. We've been holding resentment or being pissed off for like months, maybe even longer, maybe even years or something. For somebody out there, some shit that happened when you were 16 years old, and 16 is grabbing me. So it was something that happened when you were 16 years old, and I don't know how old you are, it's going to be different for everybody, but I mean, if you're If you're an adult and you're still holding on to something from 16, maybe it's time to let that go, you know, maybe. Or it could be that kind of an awareness too with the full moon, where it's just like, wow, I can't believe that I was holding on to that since I was 16 years old. I mean, that was the thing that pissed me off or made me go in this other direction, or, you know, having these big realizations from, you know, years ago. When years ago and days of old, and magic fill the air, fill the air. A little off key. What is that? Zeppelin. And in the darkest depths of my heart, I met a girl so fair. And Gollum, the evil one. I'm sorry, I'm saying, if you've never seen my videos, the guides come through with songs, and I try to catch them, and because a lot of times there's a meaning in it. Away with her. Sometimes I go ramble on. That's the song. It's Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. So it must be time, for some it's going to be time to ramble on. Keep on rambling. Yeah, they're coming through with that whole song. So ramble on. Sing your song. Gonna find your dream. On my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day. That's might be what they were trying to get me, because I was talking about times and frames. Time frames and stuff. Some of you have been this way 10 years to the day, you know, but it's time to ramble on. It's time to ramble on. All right, moving on from that. You know, we've got, it's doing this thing with the Saturn. It's trining to the Saturn. It's making aspects to the nodes too. It feels like, in relationship to the nodes, it feels like, you know, these are some things that we got to clear out. We got to clear out, get rid of, be done with forever. Stop thinking about it. Stop ruminating. The word ruminating wants to come through really strong from the minute I opened the chart up. Ruminating. So you've been ruminating, stewing in your own juices, you know, those kinds of things. Of course, it's opposed to the Sun, and it's also in a loose opposition to Venus. So, you know, a lot of times this could be about relationships. Even though Mars and Gemini, well, Gemini is relationship oriented, a third house, and communication, friends and neighbors and stuff. But somebody out there, there's something about your neighbor's been doing something for years, and you're going to let them have it, I feel. Whatever, parking in your parking space, or, you know, some kind of thing. And you might just, you know, finally just pop off and say something about it. You know, popping off and saying something about it is going to be rampant during this time frame, I would say. So it could be you, could be somebody else, but this is going to be happening. And it's stuff that needs to be cleared and addressed in order to get in this alignment with our highest calling, with the Uranus node still traveling in a pretty tight orb here, you know, only a couple degrees out. Being called to bring Earth, bring heaven, the heavens, Uranus, the heavens, the stars, to the Earth. Ooh, did I just do that? Yeah, I did. To the earth plane, you know, bring it down to the earth plane, ground it in the earth, implement it, make things out of it, building a new world. This thing is also sextiling, this new moon, full moon, excuse me, is sextiling with that Chiron, so it's bringing in those wounds. Now bringing on the heartache, ooh, I'm bringing on the heartbreak. Yeah, it could be one of these all-nighters. If you're in a relationship, which I'm glad I'm not right now, because I don't want to do this, you know, where you're just going to stay up all night and you're just going to, blah, 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 you know, just rip out your guts in these long conversations about things that have been going on for a long time. I mean, I guess you don't have to be in that kind of a relationship. It could be with other people, with a friend or whoever. And the mental mind is going to be rampant, they're saying. And it could just be a big mind dump. You know, like a big mind dump. But it's clearing. Ultimately, it's clearing. And I feel crying and tears, too, when I'm tuning into this Chiron. It could be one of these where you were just crying and, you know, I know many of you out there are thinking, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Or maybe you do. Maybe if you're an air sign, you enjoy that kind of thing, you know. But I definitely never enjoyed those kind of things at all. And then you just feel so drained and afterwards and everything. You know, we do have the Jupiter still in Pisces just by the hair of its chinny chin chin. That's what the guy said. So yeah, but it's still conjuncting with the Neptune in a wide orb, but it's in there tight enough, and it's bringing it into this whole theme, and it's just, oops, this is making a square to that Venus. Your imagination could go wild. Your mind could go wild, and you could start imagining all kinds of things, But on the other side of it, again, back to the secrets. Secrets could be coming out. Definitely secrets can be coming out at this time. You could be finding out inside information, secrets. And it doesn't really feel pleasant. It doesn't feel like it's, these are some words. They're saying it's fraught with betrayal, okay? So that's definitely not my language. It's coming through from the guides. We got Pluto opposed Ceres. This is Ceres, right? No, that's Ceres. This is Lilith, yeah. Well, there it is again. Hello. Pluto in Capricorn. I'm the boss. I'm the patriarchy. You're going to do what I say. I'm the all-powerful, patriarchal vibration. And Lilith's like, think again. Think again, Pluto. Think again, Capricorn. I am the feminine. And this is an exact, look at this. I didn't catch this right off, but it's an exact, conjunction here with our Palace girl over here. So we've got the two feminine icons in the ultra-feminine sign of, not ultra-feminine, but the divine feminine sign of the mother of the Cancer energy. So we do have that. So this is very strong feminine energy. This is Lilith by sheer will and determination, by sheer, just, you won't break me. You'll never break me. But then Palace comes in. It's like, hey, sister friend. Hey, she's reaching out. Look, she's reaching out her arm. I know that's not really happening, but it's just an aspect line. But, sometimes these visuals talk to me. It's like Palace is reaching out to Miss Lilith over here. It's like, hey, sister friend, now come on. We're not gonna, this is powerful. You can try to win by sheer will and determination and power, or we could outsmart them. Or we could use this Gemini energy. We could outsmart them. We could think of new ideas. We can invent new ways. We can forge a new pathway. We can forge our own, or even just could be like, hey, you're not alone. But maybe the tactics are different. The approaches are different. The Palace is more, it's a warrior, but it's more of, forward-thinking, inventive, more in the realm of the Uranus, more in harmony with the Uranian energy, which is in there with the node that wants us to go forward and, and move forward. It's also, doing the trine of the Saturn, which is the Uranian energy again, because it's in the sign of Aquarius, if you're not following what I'm talking about here. It's all related. Yeah, so there's a lot going on, especially if you're in those mid degrees, or, if you got 15s, you got all these 13, 14, 15, 16s, 15, we got a lot of those, and then we've got these higher degrees at 26, 27, 29. If you've got planets over here, Jupiter's opposing Ceres too. Yeah, so if you've got planets in those degrees, your chart's getting really activated, and you're getting really hit there. We do have this big cluster over here. Now it's Jupiter, these are the two planets. We've got Jupiter and Neptune as the planets in Pisces, but we've also got the Juno, the asteroid Juno, and we've got the asteroid Vesta, and then we've got the part of Fortune, which is just it's like a mathematical thing, but it's in here, it's Fortune. Jupiter's luck and fortune. The part of Fortune is the fortune. This is the good way to go. Excuse me, I need to sit through a drink of water really quick. By intuiting, by the divine feminine. It's trining over here. The divine feminine, intuiting, dreams, mystical, inward power. It's that Empress thing again. I said this the other day. I think one of the last readings I did on the charts. That's that Empress energy. The divine, the feminine is different. It's not always about trying to beat them at their own game, like Lilith is trying to do here. And it's not a male against female necessarily, it's just these archetypes, I'm going to fight you on your own, I'll be as strong as you and I'll fight you right back. Might does not make right, that's what the guides are coming through with. There's other ways, the feminine wiles, using the feminine energy, and not to just be, not to just be like this coy manipulator who's, you know, got the king's ear or whatever. Not in that kind of feminine wiles way. Feminine wiles are deeply rooted in Mother Earth, the feminine mystique, the feminine power, and it's a force unto itself. The feminine power, the divine feminine, is a force unto itself. It's not the same as the patriarchal energy. It's not brute force at all. It's magnetism. It's drawing to you. It's going within and being a magnet. Jupiter's a magnet. It's drawing, having that magnetism and pulling what you need from the earth and to you through, you know, those channels, those universal light channels. Mercury and Venus are still conjunct by just a few degrees, but Mercury has rolled on into Capricorn here. And Jupiter's still squaring that whole thing too. So the nicety talk might be over. Excuse me, I just need another drink of water. In some cases, it can be like, well, nice talk isn't working. You know, we've talked till we're blue in the face. Nice talk isn't working. Now we've got to get down to brass tacks or brass tactics, whatever. The guides are coming through with that old saying. What else we got going on here? What's Saturn doing? This is sextiling. Jupiter's sextiling Pluto. Trying to give a helping hand, but I feel like Pluto is just so engaged in this battle. This feels like a battle. And for some of you, it could be like, you know, somebody, either your own parents or, you know, friends that you know. And this has been locked in place for a long time. They are definitely locked in place for a long time. And they're in combative mode, is what I was trying to say, but incompatible was coming out. Well, clearly they're incompatible as well, right? And sometimes, you know, that's what if we don't stay, we get locked into these things. And that's really when a relationship doesn't work out for whatever level, you could just boil it down to incompatibility, you know? Basically, that's it. I want to go this way, and you want to go that way. You have to find somebody that, I want to go this way, like, hey, I want to go this way too. You walk hand in hand, and, you know, after that initial romance, falling in love, crazy falling in love energy dies down a little bit, then that's what you're left with. You know, can we make a life together? Do we agree on some fundamental things we get beyond just the sexual attraction? Maybe we don't agree on. Maybe we just don't see eye to eye. Oh, now that song's coming through. There ain't no good guy. There ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. And that's true. That's probably true in all relationships that don't work out. But we get so caught up in the drama. So caught up in, you're going to see things my way, you're going to do things my way, you're wrong and I'm right, you know, this polar oppositions, which are happening all over the place, you know, they're happening all over the place. We've even got the Jupiter, and these are opposing our Ceres over here. I'm getting that Ceres is keeping that tab running too. Ceres is, you know, remembering every single time that they picked up your sock or they did this, or, you know, they've got that in Virgo, they've got that analytical mind. Every single time, well, you know, they're keeping score, you know. And with the Pisces energy, it's not about keeping score. It's about this universal love and just being in the universal love. And, you know, when the guides come through with this, and when we incarnate, I think we all think that, oh yeah, I'm going to incarnate on Earth, and I'll just stay in universal love. Pile it on, universe. I'll take this and this and this. And then you get down here, it's like, wait a minute. This is a lot. It's hard. You know, it can be hard. It can be hard to navigate all kinds of things here in this earth plane, right? It's harder than it seems from looking outside, looking in. And we are in a human body, and we do have an ego, and you know, we do get caught up in it. And with the Chiron in Aries, we do get caught up in our wounded ego. You know, it's part of the Chiron in Aries, our wounded ego. You know, and we can lash out in childish kind of ways. You know, that can happen as well. All right, what else are we looking at here? Yeah, or it goes back to our old, I mean, that's Psychology 101, right? You pick your partner, you either pick your mom or your dad. You know, you pick one of them as your partner because you want to work out your crap. You know, it always goes like that. So that, you know, that happens too. That's going back to our old childhood wounds, you know. Moon is, let's see, I'm just looking for some aspects. You know, this Venus-Mercury squaring the Jupiter too. So you could run off at the mouth and say things. What I'm getting is you could say things that really hurt people. And so, you know, there's so much Pisces energy here. This could be a great time for creativity. Why not get out that journal instead of going calling them up or going meeting them and blah, 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 run or texting, you know. Here's what I really think of you, blah, blah. Why not just write it down in a journal or something like that, or do it some other, you know, find another outlet and send it out into the Pisces, out in, and the Uranus too, but the Pisces out into the universe, send it out to the universe. Let it be, you know, eaten up and transmuted and changed in that way. You know, Venus is squaring the Neptune too. Again, I just pick up that, you know, you could get the wrong idea about stuff. Or suspicious, now I'm getting that Presley song. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, with suspicious minds. I'm even throwing on the backup vocals now. Yeah, but we can get caught up in some blowing things out of proportion or imagining the worst, you know, imagining the worst. And this could even happen in the present day. They put my eyes back on this, you know, that could go back to what I was saying before. Oh, that's what they meant. You could be like, blah, 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 you know, take it the wrong way and be flying off the handle about, you know, something that was said. Or there's a lot of ties to the past too, because also this, but here's the other thing, this water energy, this whole divine feminine thing, it's trining in with the South Node too. So we've got a beautiful grand trine on water involving Jupiter, Neptune, nice energy, Juno, nodes, all this feminine, and it's going to that past and that Scorpio thing. So that brings in the other aspect of it, that we are not only healing our own past and our own past life stuff, but we're healing the collective past, the collective divine feminine, the collective trauma of the feminine is what the guides came through with. And it starts with, you know, childbirth. Childbirth can be pretty traumatic, you know. And it's bloody, and it's, you know, it's this whole thing. It's all, that's Scorpio right there, you know. Yeah. Anything else that important that I didn't, there's always something important that I didn't catch. That's the downside of doing it off the cuff like this. Because after I'm done with my reading, then I'll go watch other people's readings. I never watch other people's readings before I do mine, because I don't want to accidentally steal anything from them. And then it's always interesting to hear their take on it after I've already had my say about it. But ultimately, they'll be like, yeah, there's this huge aspect, blah, and they're all talking about it, and I didn't even mention it. But I am an intuitive astrologer, and I just kind of go with what the guides are showing me and with the message that they want to bring through. So it's a little different. I think I pretty much covered everything that I need to cover. Saturn square Uranus, that's an ongoing thing too. That's just an ongoing thing over there. You know, it's the old and the new. We've talked at length about the Saturn square Uranus. I don't know that we necessarily have to talk about it anymore. But this trining the Saturn too, you could be hard on another. You could be hard on another the way your parents were hard on you. We don't have to go back to, we want to break these chains. You know, we want to break these chains. We don't want to keep perpetuating. That's one of the big things that the guides have come through with. That I had a completely misunderstanding about. I always thought, well, if you were mean to somebody in this life, then the next life they'll be mean to you, and blah, 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 back and forth. And that's very, very little of it, the whole thing of the karmic incarnational thing. It's a very small part of it. You incarnate to the places where you think you can do the most good. And you may or may not have specific, that karma, you know, that specific thing, you know. You set up a lifetime where you're going to encounter these things, where you're going in with the plan of, this is where I could do the most good. This is where I could break, put an end to, and in doing so, evolve humanity. Because it's like that. It is passed down from generation to generation. So if you're the first one that, if you were spanked but you don't spank your kids, you're putting an end to that. They're not going to spank their kids. Or if you were, there's just, there's a long list of family dysfunctional stuff that, there's guides are coming through. It's be the breaker of chains. Be the breaker of bondage. That have perpetuated through the eons. Yeah, so that's a big part of it. So a lot of our work is this inner work of, we're going to change it, and we're going to be more nurturing and more kind. Because we know that we live in a place of abundance, that there's plenty for everybody, that the earth is all providing. It's like that. It can be like that. All right. Well, if you find yourself about ready to toot off at somebody, think once, think twice, think 3 times before you say it. You could let loose something that, number 1, that you might regret saying. Number 2, that's not true. That is a complete lie or fabrication or something of your own imagination. Convoluted truths. So, you may want to take refuge in the Pisces energy till this kind of blows over. Or you may want to, ground yourself in that divine feminine and just realize that it's out there and people are going off. This could be a great time for some big downloads. I just noticed because the Venus is right on that galactic center. When things align with the galactic center, that's when we get these big downloads from the universe. So big downloads, and it's just like, take a step back. Take a step back and be the observer of all the craziness. And then you can just kind of laugh at it. It's just like, this is all the silly games we play, or all the, the people get so worked up over this. When you take a step back, it gives you a wider perspective. It gives you can see things more clearly, see things in the bigger picture. All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and following me as you have through the year. I've got one more chart read, I think, for this year, and then we're going to be starting into a new year. I'm coming up on my 10th year on YouTube, and I'm going to probably do some changes about my content, but I know I'm not going to be changing this one, because this is definitely this is definitely something that I enjoy doing. I like doing the chart reads. But I wanted to remind everybody too, if you wanted, there's a lot of big aspects going on for the upcoming year. So if you want, I am doing the year ahead readings. They're all very popular. I'm doing a lot of them right now. Many order every year. And some, if you've never ordered, you may be interested in it. But it's a breakdown of the major transits, the major things, and we take a look at that. And the including the eclipses, and including like the big transits of the Pluto, Saturn, and the nodes all changing signs on that, and see how it's going to affect you. And then I go through and do a tarot reading, and then I even pull an animal totem for you as well. So, it's again popular reading, the most popular reading of the year, and it'll be available only till the end of December. So if you want, take a look at that. If you are interested in more of the karmic, the deeper spiritual stuff and things like that I've been talking about here, you may want to, another thing that I do is, I do it off the chart as well, is I do it off the astrology chart, is that I do this reading for your past lives and your soul mission and stuff like that. That's another popular reading that I do have. If you're more, if your leanings are more towards astrology rather than the tarot and the psychic stuff, there's that. My Christmas song is out. I can't seem to pull up the image of it anywhere. But if you do listen to Christmas music, please do give it a listen. And if you have a Christmas music playlist, I would so love it if you might consider putting it in the Christmas list, putting it in your Christmas playlist. The Christmas song, it's called Christmas Time. I was trying real quick to pull it up on here too, and I'm just not having any luck at pulling up the image of it. I'm, again, not prepared. I'm not prepared with my files that I want to show, but yeah, it's a traditional Christmas song. So if you think you might, like it, give it a listen real quick. And if you do like it, adding it to the playlist, that's like a whole thing. That's like a big thing that is very helpful to me. I found it on my phone. This is what the cover looks like. So check it out. And I will be releasing my New Year's song again too. So if you like the music, please do check it out. And also another thing I was mentioning in the tarot readings, if you're doing your holiday shopping, consider purchasing things from an independent creator. I have plenty of things. I have notebooks and cool stuff, but t-shirts, whatever. But there's many people out there. Even if you go to your local craft fair or church bazaar or whatever, because why feed the corporate greed? Why not help out, an independent creator? And also then you get something that's really unique and really cool. And it shows that, to me, that shows like you put some thought into it. You just didn't go grab something off the shelf at a department store. You put some thought in it. You can get cool handmade things on Etsy. So there's all sorts of ways that you can do that. And this is the time of year to really help out all those independent creators out there, including me. All right, everybody. Full moon in Gemini. The guy just came through with mum's the word. Yeah, that's where I'm going to be over here in the Pisces energy. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm just going to stay out and be the observer and see what happens. There could be some, people could be getting their feathers ruffled. But stay cool, calm, and collected, and it should be okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great full moon. We'll talk again soon. Bye.